Sí, en ese video nosotros vamos a hablar sobre el Día de los Muertos. And so in this video, we're going to speak about El Día de los Muertos, or the Day of the Dead. So I know there are some requests for more English in the videos, which I will try to do. Hopefully have a nice combination of English and Spanish and try and translate everything, just so we're all on the same page. So, El Día de los Muertos es una celebración mexicana. It's a celebration for the dead, traditionally thought of as Mexican, but it can be, you see some of the celebrations in almost all of Central America, Sudamérica, Central and South America. Típicamente en todos los países hispanohablantes, so in almost all of the Hispanic countries, the countries you would think of as Hispanic, they have some variation of Day of the Dead or El Día de los Muertos. Sí, el Día de los Muertos es una celebración de la vida. Es muy importante notar que sea una celebración de la vida. Day of the Dead is a celebration of life. It's honoring the dead, but it's a cheerful celebration. It's not like a funeral. It's not depressing. There's a lot of happiness, a lot of cheer, because in Hispanic culture, death is a celebration, something to be embraced. It's not to be feared as many of the more European or Western societies seem to feel that there's nothing in Hispanic culture to be feared about death. It's like a friend that comes and greets you when it's your time to go. So, en el Día de los Muertos celebran la vida y ellos recuerdan a los difuntos y los muertos. So los difuntos, those who are deceased, and los muertos, those who have died. Which is basically the same thing, just a different way of saying it. El Día de los Muertos typically ocurre en noviembre. So we usually have the Day of the Dead in the first part of November. Now, it can depend, because sometimes you'll see it noted as a couple-day celebration, but usually the 1st of November, the 2nd of November, it will coincide usually with All Saints' Day, which is the 1st of November. Also, something to note is the Western celebration of Halloween, or in Spanish, Halloween. Típicamente Halloween es una celebración it's a celebration which involves the supernatural and scary ghosts and bats and skeletons and such. And when you look at Day of the Dead and Halloween, you can see similarities. So a lot of the time, especially in the current system, families will celebrate both just together. One huge celebration for a couple days to celebrate the supernatural and death and life, and remember those who have passed on, and hope that tradition will encourage them to be remembered when it's their turn to pass on to the next world as well. Así, in the different holidays, we have different personifications or personificaciones. We have different characters. So, in in Christmas we have Saint Nicholas or Santa Claus. In Easter we have the Easter Bunny. And in Day of the Dead, el Día de los Muertos, tenemos a la Dama de la Muerte, o se llama la Catrina. Y la Catrina es una esqueletera, so she is a skeleton, as you can see in the background, and she is the Lady of Death, and they call her La Catrina. Catrina is her name. And usually she's wearing very, very elaborate clothing. So clothing, la ropa es muy elaborada, muy elegante. She has hats with feathers and flowers and lace trim and huge flowing gowns, because she is the Lady of Death. Es como una reina o una princesa. She is widely respected and revered. Occasionalmente, you might see her in somber colors or even without any clothes on, but this is rare because for los hispanohablantes, la Catrina es una amiga. It is something to be embraced. Death is to be embraced. it's a friend that comes to you, and it's not something to be feared. So they dress her up as a queen in wonderfully bright colors, and it's quite interesting to see. Sí, tenemos aquí una decoración típica del Día de los Muertos. So what you see here is una ofrenda, and in Day of the Dead, families will typically put some kind of altar together, whether in the house or the church, which is called una ofrenda, and they'll put reminders there, things which remind them of the dead. So you can see here's an example. You have some food, some decorations, some pictures here, a lot more decorations. Here there's a small guitar and a picture, and here there are lots of skulls, some candles. Así, una ofrenda en general podría contener varias cosas, como calaveras y decoraciones. So calaveras are skeletons. Sorry, esqueletera is skeleton. Calavera is a skull. So these skulls, sometimes they're made of they're sweet and they're edible. Sometimes they're just decorations. Sometimes they're made of paper or clay. And you have other decorations too. And kind of streamer, balloons, because remember this is a celebration, it's a festival of life and death, so everything is very brightly colored and happy. También podría tener instrumentos musicales, especialmente instrumentos de barro, so you can have musical instruments como la flauta or the flute, los timbores or the drums. Typically están hechos de barro, so usually they are made of clay, just to keep things, because that's what happened traditionally. There was no stainless steel flutes and brass drums and such. Everything was coming directly from the earth, whatever people could make themselves. También podemos tener esculturas o fotos. So las esculturas typically son de dioses. So they're usually statues of the gods, as you can see here. This is a ceremonial knife schematic, but the idea is the same. Usually now with the push towards Roman Catholicism in the Hispanic countries, you might see crosses and Jesus pictures more often than the dioses. También podría tener algunas fotos of the dead, so you have their picture there, whoever the offender is for. También podría tener comida, so there are, as with any holiday, there are traditional foods for el Día de los Muertos, and aquí tenemos una foto de pan de muerto. So this is the bread of the dead, el pan de muerto, and it's a sweet bread, es un pan dulce, and sometimes we'll have raisins or seeds in it. También podría tener, it can have anything you want. Sometimes people will put velas or candles, espejos, mirrors, toallas, towels. So the velas to light the way of the dead, because traditionally it's thought that the dead will return to see their ofrenda, to see their grave, to see their family if they are remembered. So the vela to light the way of the spirit as they are returning, espejos, so they can see themselves, see their reflection, see how they look. Toallas y agua también, so towels and water if they want to wash themselves, refresh themselves before they make that long journey back to the next world. And having said that, now we can see here a very elaborate ofrenda with velas, calaveras, alguna comida, all kinds of things, and it's just a very elaborate display for the dead. Ahora podemos hablar sobre algún vocabulario para el Día de los Muertos. La primera cosa son las calaveras de azúcar. So if you remember, I said calavera is a skull, azúcar is sugar, so these are sugar skulls. They are candies made for everyone, sometimes children, and they're very brightly decorated with lots of coloring, and they're just very happy things to have around. También tenemos el papel picado. So papel picado is paper, colored paper, which has elaborate shapes usually cut into it. So think about when you were in grade school perhaps and you cut the shapes and then made a snowflake. It's kind of the same idea, except these are much more elaborate. También tenemos el atole. So atole is a kind of masa, hot cocoa porridge kind of thing. So masa is a modified cornmeal, which Hispanics used to make tortillas and empanadas and things like that. So you take a bit of that flour, mix it with some milk, perhaps put some cinnamon on it, and this is el atole, which is a bebida tradicional, so a traditional drink para el Día de los Muertos. Tenemos los flores. Los flores son flowers, and as you can imagine, flowers are an important thing in Day of the Dead. The more brightly colored, the better. Marigolds are a special favorite. También un instrumento musical que es muy importante para la cultura hispánica. It's very important for Hispanic culture is the guitar, la guitarra. Y una persona que toca la guitarra es una guitarrista. So if you play the guitar, si te toque la guitarra, eres guitarrista. And you can roll your R if you can do that. Guitarrista. I can't do it very well, but hopefully you might be able to do it better than I can. Y la cosa final es que hay una película nueva. There's a new film out. It's called in English The Book of Life, in Spanish El Libro de la Vida. And I would suggest that you look up this video, especially the trailer, in Spanish. If you just go to Google, do a video search El Libro de la Vida, or if you want El Libro de la Vida trailer oficial, you'll see all kinds of videos, just short snippets of this movie. And now that you have an idea of what Day of the Dead is about, it's about recordando los difuntos, so remembering the deceased. You can see here in the front it says Una aventura del Día de los Muertos. It's an adventure about the Day of the Dead, and I won't spoil it for you because you should watch the trailer and see how much of it you pick up. But you have algunos dioses at the top, so you have some gods, and you have here dos hombres, 2 men, and una mujer, 1 woman. So I'm sure you could figure out that there is some kind of triangle going on here. We see here we have el hombre con una guitarra, so we have one of the men with a guitar, which is also interesting because we just discussed that. We have here in the back, you can see the building, they kind of look like calaveras, some of the windows, so they look like skulls. Again, Day of the Dead. And you notice everything here too is very brightly colored. Everything seems so happy and full of life, even though the movie is called The Book of Life, even though it's about the Day of the Dead. And you'll see if you watch the trailer, it's all about the land of the dead, and or how they call it is La Tierra de los Recuerdos. I believe that's what they called it. I can't remember now off the top of my head, but the translation was the land of the remembered. So, might be La Tierra de los Recordados. Recuerdos is memory, recordados. So that's something else that's interesting to note. So I suggest you look that up after this video. It might give you a bit more of an understanding than what I was able to in this video, but hopefully that just started you off with an understanding. I should apologize because I don't use notes when I'm doing these videos. I just read off the slides, so I apologize for all the stuttering and second guessing and so on and so forth. It's not the easiest to go back and forth between 2 languages, but hopefully you learned something, and let me know what you think of the video and what I can improve going forward. If you would prefer a scripted video, perhaps I can try and do that for the future. So thanks for watching.